WBCN, the Rock of Boston. It is Fred Toettcher, Rich Shirtley, and we are talking to a man who is one of the few people that's in a current rock band that's having any success at all. His name is Chris Cornell. Of course, he's in a band called Audioslave. They got a new album out called Revelations. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
Now, you are having success, and I got on the internet and I started reading about you guys, and there are all these, there's like mad rumors about you guys breaking up. Have you heard any of this?
Yeah, I heard it about a week ago, I think. And it's not the first time. It's probably about the 10th time I've heard that since our first record came out. So I just sort of ignore it, because it happens every once in a while. Occasionally I die, too, which I hear about. And then I pinch myself and I understand that I'm not dead, and then I just kind of go on with my day. You
don't have any cool, like, Nikki Sixx stories that you, like, died for real and then they had to revive you, so if they do a behind the music on you, you'll have that going?
If they do it, I don't know if I would like to talk about those kind of stories. I don't have anything quite so dramatic to tell.
But there have been times where you felt like things were spiraling out of control in terms of health? That's happened before?
Oh, completely. Yeah. I mean, I was, went through a period of depression for a couple of years where I didn't really eat a whole meal, per day for about 2 years. Suffered from alcohol abuse and just kind of went off in that direction and got lost for a while, and then had to fight my way out of it, which I don't recommend that to anyone, because whether you make it or you don't make it, it's hard.
We're talking to Chris Cornell. How do you pull yourself out of a situation like that when you are depressed for a period of years and not eating, and it goes on for so long? What do you do to take steps to get out of it?
Well, you have to accept help from other people that know how to help you. And, that's as simple as that sounds. I think for most people, that's the hardest thing to do. Also, being a guy in a band, a singer in a successful band, you start heading down the road of drinking a lot and experimenting with drugs. You're not going to get fired for it. Nobody's going to care. It's pretty much business as usual, and really people are surprised when you don't do that. And I was always sort of considered the one that was together. I'd drink a little bit, have a good time, but I was kind of the guy that didn't have a problem. And when I did start to show up with some problems, it didn't really raise a lot of eyebrows, because people think, well, you're supposed to be like that. And for that reason, I think those problems for band guys can kind of go on longer than they would normally. If you're getting threatened that you're going to lose your job, you're going to go into rehab and deal with it. And ultimately, that's what I had to do. I had to accept help from other people. I had to go from being pretty much a recluse to sharing a room with another guy with the problem, and forget about the fact that somebody might know who I am or whatever. And I realized then, when you get around a bunch of people that are suffering like that, they don't care who I am. They got much bigger fish to fry than that. They got bigger concerns than the singer from Soundgarden or Audioslave is sitting next to him having a hard time.
Well, we're talking to Chris Cornell. Now, Chris, the new song, the original Fire, we've been playing it here on BCN for a little bit, and we had a couple calls of people saying that it actually sounds a lot like something that we've been hearing a lot of recently on television. Have you ever heard this before?
I get what I want, I go where I please, I do it my way, 'cause that's what I say, and that works for me.
Have you heard that commercial before, by any chance, Chris?
No, it's awful, though. What is it?
That's that American Idol guy, Taylor Hicks, doing a Ford commercial.
What's his last name?
Taylor Hicks is his name.
What a great name. Do you think that's his real name?
Oh, well, he's definitely lies about his age. He says he's 29, but he's hair grayer than my grandpa.
Have you ever met a 29-year-old in your experiences that has a full head of white hair? That's rare to happen.
No, the weird thing, too, is if you're going to do that and lie about your age, they make stuff for that, like Grecian formula. Get up in that and lie all you want. You're not going to get away with it.
Yeah, how many people in the world of rock have not been afraid to rock the Grecian or a black wig?
Look at Roy Orbison. He wasn't scared. He was in his late 60s doing something. There's some deception going on up there, because he always had a big mop of jet black hair.
It always looks so natural to me. We're talking to Chris Cornell. So you're doing the theme to the new Bond film?
Yeah. I just finished it.
And have you gotten a chance to see the movie? How did you go about that?
Well, that's how I did it. You know, I went that way. I wanted to see it because at first I didn't really imagine myself the right guy for the job. And then I saw the film, and with the actor and the movie and every aspect of it, it's so completely different than any other Bond film. It's very edgy, but also it has emotional depth. And the actor Daniel Craig, he's a more accomplished, more talented actor, I think, than any other previous one. And then I saw parts of it and realized that I am the guy for this, and I want to be involved in this because it so pulls the rug out from under the image. And I want my song to be there if it can be. And then after that, well, it wasn't that tough because the direction I got from everyone, the producers, the director, the composer of the score, who I did the song with, wrote and recorded the song with, David Arnold, they all said the same thing, which is just like, think outside the box, go do whatever you want, because we don't want it to sound like any other previous song.
Yeah, because you're the first dude that's done it.
Yeah.
I'm the first guy. I'm the first male solo vocalist that's done it since Paul MacCartney.
Yeah. Live and Let Die. That's right.
Yeah,
which is another part of it. One of the attraction to it was imagining. Back when I was a little kid, the first time I heard "Live and Let Die," to think that I would, be singing the song for the 21st one. So it's sort of kind of like a fantasy in a way that's fulfilled.
Speaking of Live and Let Die, Guns N' Roses, of course, did a cover of that song, and now there's all this talk about Axel and if the band can get back together. You actually toured with them back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
What was your impression like of Axel back then?
He was very isolated, in a way that's not healthy, and I think that the problems can come of someone's eccentricities being indulged for too long and too much. Mm-hmm. And the band was just like any rock band. They just wanted to go on stage and play rock music. Who treated us like gold. Everybody, including Axel, just treated us very well. It was really turbulent time for everybody, for us, because often we were told to get in our bus and leave because they might not go on and there might be a riot.
Jesus.
And so it was pretty crazy. But what is kind of shocking to me is that after all this time, since the last GNR studio record, there's still a huge force in rock music. People still think of them as this enormous band, kind of the Rolling Stones of hard rock. So if they did somehow get the original members back together, it would be as though not a day had passed.
Yeah. I know, and that's why it's such a tragedy. Well, not a tragedy, but why it's such a bad thing that Axel just can't get it together. And speaking of wigs, he might rock one too. All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much, man. Revelations comes September 5th. We appreciate it very much for you coming on with us.
Oh, thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right.